Prime Minister.
Good to see you again.
It's always nice to be back in St. Kitts.
Always.
And firstly, congratulations on your election.
Thank you.
I know it was a long time we kept you away from Chogam.
Of course. Thank you very much for being here this morning. I believe that Australia definitely is one of those countries, especially in the Western Hemisphere, that St. Kitts and Nevis has been very pleased to further establish good relations with. To this end, we're very pleased that we have been able, after some time, to successfully negotiate the new tax information exchange agreement. I want to thank not only those on your side who have made it possible, but also on my side who have made it possible. To thank Shona in particular, and all others who have been engaged in this very difficult exercise. We know that one of the new planks on which the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis is being planned is financial services. And when the international community, what seems to be represented by the OECD in particular, is insisting, which we agree to, that there has to be transparency, there has to be appropriate accountability, where we want to make sure that necessary regulatory and supervisory institutions are in place. We believe that this can only augur well for the overall development of the industry worldwide. And so we are very pleased as a country to have come to the point where we feel comfortable that what we are doing here today will be to the benefit of those in Australia and those here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Again, we want to thank you very, very much.
Minister, thank you for those very kind, warm words of welcome, and also for your very strong sentiment about the importance of TIEAs for both countries. From my desk in Trinidad, I've been observing that under your leadership, St. Kitts and Nevis has taken quite a number of initiatives on TIEA activities, and I want to congratulate your government for that leadership and that direction, because as we appreciate the whole financial services industry is one which we need to make sure is managed carefully to encourage investor confidence, and I'm sure that this development between our two countries is going to further strengthen the relationship that we already enjoy. I would like to also, Prime Minister, take this opportunity to pass on my Prime Minister's best wishes to you. As I mentioned a short while ago, he was disappointed that your election did not allow you to attend Chogam in Port of Spain. But he fully understood this, because politicians are politicians and understand that elections are, of course, at a very important time for looking forward to a country's further progress. If I may take this opportunity just very briefly, Prime Minister, to convey to you some of the expressions of and thoughts that our Prime Minister conveyed to CARICOM leaders in Port of Spain on the margins of Chogam when he met. You may recall that Australia, our Prime Minister, signed a memorandum of understanding with Secretary General Carrington of CARICOM, providing for development assistance between Australia and CARICOM countries to the tune of about $60 million Australian over 4 years, which equates in current dollar terms to about $57 million US. The primary focus of that development assistance is looking at the effects of climate change and looking at adaptation measures and also disaster risk management practices to assist the island states of the Caribbean area to deal with those challenges which lie before all of us. As you'll appreciate, Prime Minister, Australia for many years now has played a big sister or a big brother relationship with the small island countries of the Pacific. And through that experience, Australia believes it's developed an understanding of some of the issues that face island countries, and particularly those that are vulnerable to the effects of climate change. And we think that through our memorandum of understanding, we look forward to sharing some of the lessons learned from the Pacific, but also to building the bridges, because we think there is a commonality of issues which affect both the island countries on the Pacific and the Caribbean. And I'm very excited by this prospect because it is, as we all know, a tremendous challenge. And in that context, I'd like to take up on our last conversation when you expressed to me some interest perhaps in having Australia assist St Kitts and Nevis in terms of coastal water protection, reef protection and so forth. And I'm hoping that through this MOU we can find mechanisms to provide that direct assistance. The Prime Minister was very keen to underline in his dialogue with your CARICOM counterparts the fact that Australia has neglected the Caribbean for quite a number of years under the previous government in Australia, and he and his government is quite determined to build the bridges and strengthen the relationships where they have been neglected in the recent past. And I look forward to my visits back to St Kitts and Nevis, and when I have the opportunity to calling on you so that we can further look at ways of collaboration and strengthening the relationship further.
Thank you, Excellency. I believe that the promised cooperation, well, improvement, I would say, in the cooperation between St Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean generally and Australia augurs well for the future. I must confess that I have experienced on several occasions in the past the tense moments between former Prime Minister and colleagues in the Caribbean and of course in Africa. But that's the past. The fact that there's a new Labour administration, is it not? And there's one here. It augurs well for the future.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister.